All right, welcome back to me without a camera. My cord broke, so my camera doesn't work anymore, which is just great. I love when things just break. So we're back at it again with the old version of the channel, me, Android. Yeah. Either way, today I want to talk about Piccolo. Set 18 yellow Piccolo. For those who actually have been paying attention to the polls in my community tab, this was the highest voted one for the last poll. I've been doing it for the last couple weeks or so for all of these complete breakdowns. Since I can't really get to all of them, eventually I will, but by that time I actually do get to all of them. There isn't just enough time to test everything and to talk through everything, and by that time the set will be released, so you know. Either way, I'm very surprised that this won over Red Sin. Just playability wise, Red Sin is like 100 times better. I will tell you right now. Set 18 Piccolo is okay. He is very much of an okay deck. And before I continue, definitely use the TCG player link below. I don't push that enough, but if you are going to be buying any of the Set 18 product, or really any product on TCG player, it does help me quite a lot. And of course, go into the community tab in case you haven't voted, and just let me know in the comments below what you think about this, and as well as what you want to see in the future. And if this gets 40 likes or more, I will do some gameplay, just like any other the complete breakdowns that I've been doing. Anyway, the movie is great. It was fire. I love Piccolo. I love Gohan. It was just awesome as a movie if you haven't seen it. And this whole deck is based on that movie. There's a lot of good yellow cards that Piccolo has access to, but it kind of runs into the issue of the last Piccolo Leader, where you're kind of just joining up a bunch of yellow good stuff and putting the engine with it, and you just kind of realize like, hey, do I want to keep playing these cards, or do I want to play yellow good stuff plus a better leader that draws more and as well as has a better engine? And that always goes back to Trunks, Vegeta, and as well as other leaders now like Turles. And shout out to Eggman, because he talked about Turles before anybody started playing it. So there you go. By the way, I love Piccolo for many reasons, but the fact that he was this is not really spoilers, but he was babysitting Pan, and every time he answered the phone, he held it up like an old man. It was just fantastic. Let's talk about the leader for a little bit. The first thing is that the front side, you basically swing, you have to discard a card, but you're able to look at the top 5 for any of the yellow cards in your deck, which is pretty crazy because there's a lot of good yellow cards out there. And when you do see my deck lists, if you skip to it, well, whatever, your mom's a hoe, you're ugly. But if you didn't, I think you kind of realize like, okay, you have to fit in a bunch of the engine that it comes with this set, and then you have to make sure that all of your discards are good for the deck, basically, because you're going to be discarding quite a lot in the deck. And to capitalize on that, to actually draw on that comes with the backside. But the front side is that you discard, look at the top 5, you get a yellow card, and most of the things that we're going to take a look at kind of synergizes with this discard effect. Your life is at 4 or less, or if you have a mono yellow Sun Gohan SHZ battle card in play, you may draw 1 card, untap 1, and then take life until 6. That is pretty cool because it is one of those decks where you have Awakening on demand. Everyone has a Self-Awakener through Vegeta, but now there are alternative awakenings where you can just fulfill the Z battle card, fulfill the Z energy, whatever, and then awaken. And this basically, it allows you to do it on turn 2 or going forward, as long as you combo something beforehand or on their turn. The backside is cool because it's pretty much the same thing, but backwards. You draw a card instead of looking at the top 5. I actually wish they kept the top 5 for yellow. This would actually be such a better leader if they kept the top 5 for yellow. But you discard 1 after you draw 1, so now you get to see the things that you can draw and then discard it, which is nice. And then on your turn, if you play a yellow card, it can be any yellow card, Unison battle card, whatever, or a Z battle card from your drop. You draw 1 card. So it's nice because the way that Z battle cards work is that it's an extension of your hand, but not being your hand. So you're hard casting things from your Z battle deck, or Z deck, I should say. And you're not really negging anything because you use the combo to protect yourself or to go aggressive previously. So you don't really go neg in your hand and you get to draw 1. So that is kind of the concept for that. The issue with this leader, however, is that you're constantly having to make the decision of like, okay, what do I play from drop? what do I want to discard and what is the most energy efficient thing to survive this turn. And that's kind of what I've seen in this. I really wish there were more Z battle cards to play, because there aren't very many in yellow that actually are decent. Well, I should say not decent so much, but just the sheer number of yellow Z battle cards are just not there right now. Activate battle is that you discard one from your hand and you get to use one yellow battle card for energy costs, but 5,000 combo power from your drop, and the skill is negated from the turn. And then this gains 10k or 1,000 power for the battle. So basically it's a 6k combo when you combo itself. So you can discard a yellow battle card with 5,000 combo power, and then it gets 6k for the turn, for the card does. And then now you have a Z energy to use for later as well. I do like how it says discard any card, so you can discard a unison if you really wanted to, and then you can use a yellow battle card in the drop. I'm running Koisekai in my list where you can dis Koisekai and then use a yellow battle card, so that way you can get Z battle energy or Z energy, and then you use Koisekai later because you want that in your drop, obviously. All I can say is that leader could be better, but we do have some specific cards that it come out with in the set, which basically you're just going to be running either at 4 or at 3 at the very minimum. But the Z battle card is pretty cool because it has deflect. It's a 15k, you swing twice with dual attack. It is a reduces the evolve cost for this guy into 1, and then when you do play it and your leader card is a Piccolo, which you're gonna be doing, I do like how these are generic enough to play in other cards or other decks, I should say, but you get to tap down one battle card, not ignoring barrier. But this guy pretty much has all the keywords on his face and all the text for between these two cards. Jesus. He's a dual attacking deflect 30k. What's annoying is that this guy can get barrier for more energy as long as you have a pan SH card like this girl right here in play. But this guy doesn't have barrier, so it's kind of annoying because you don't have protection here, but you do have protection here. There's just weird instances where that just comes up. The permanent is that if it is removed from the battle area, you get to remove it to the game or from the game instead, which makes sense. It's a good balancing mechanic because if you went to the drop, you can just keep doing this over and over, and there's other yellow Gohans in your deck that you can evolve on top of. But this is the most efficient because this is really just a three energy play in total, where you swing once, then you swing twice here for 30k, and you're able to either have double strike and barrier for 4 or more energy if you have a pan, and then the auto is that if you have a unison play, it doesn't have to be the 2-cost unison we're gonna take a look at, but when it attacks, you get to ignore the skills for the turn with barrier, or not ignoring barrier, and then you get to KO something in rest mode. So this taps down something, and then you get to KO something in rest mode here. And this is not a once return, so you can just dual attack and get rid of something twice. And it's really cool because you're pretty much going to be comboing this girl early on, and turn 3 or 4, you're going to be using the Gohan and using her as Z energy. And what she says is she has deflect, unique, and dual attack. Good thing they have unique because you can play quite a lot of these since it doesn't have a limit. But she's just like her dad, where she gets removed, and then you pay 1 when you use this as Z energy for a 2-cost or more Z battle card. So the Gohan, it procs that off, and as well as the Goku that we're gonna take a look at as well. And then you get to KO something in rest mode, ignoring barrier, which is very, very useful. And when it attacks, you get to use 1 mono yellow card with 5,000 power from your drop in a combo, and it gets the skills for the turn, which is pretty much similar to what we were looking at before. So it's nice that it is a 15k dual attacker, gets to pop something in barrier, and is a 1-cost attacker because it's using Gohan. So it all kind of comes together because you're using 2 costs on turn 3 for 3 energy, putting her into the drop and then playing her. You can also wait until the other turn, or when you're awakening to do it, but you can awaken right after because you have him out, and then you have 1 more energy to evolve on top of him from the drop, that is. And then you get the draw off of it from your leader, and then you get to swing again 3 times, probably 5 times with the pan. Then we have the other stuff, which is not bad, I would say. So pan is a 2-cost yellow unison, but you get to play it for 1 if you discard it from your hand if your leader card is Piccolo. So obviously the activate battle, you can play this on their turn if you really wanted to. So you can get that 6k power from comboing something, getting a Z energy on the awaken side, and then playing her on their turn, which is nice because it only gets one marker. But if you know that their stuff or their things, whatever it may be, is over and done with, then you don't have to really worry about that. The cool thing is that if you have the Sun Gohan SH in play in rest mode, they can't attack this card. So you can have this guy here if you really wanted to. You can have the 30k in rest mode as well, and you have two different options for the +2 where you can activate main, draw one, and discard one, which procs off all the things that we've been looking at, and as well as +2, you can give one of those Gohans 10k power in rest mode. So basically it's just saying, hey, you know, I'm going to keep this guy in rest mode. It doesn't have barrier, but whatever, you're gonna have to swing into it if you want to get rid of it, or if you want to swing at this. This Guardian Earth is actually really quite good because it's a 19k for 1. And what happens is that it is a 19k blocker where you can Spirit Boost for 1. You discard it from your hand, so you can +2 here and discard it, and then play it right after by Spirit Boosting 1, so you -1 marker, and then you get to rest mode something, one of their things without barrier, basically, and then you get to use the auto where you can block, and then you get to switch to active mode, so it just protects you for 2 as long as they don't remove it. And cool thing is that a lot of things are -15k and not so much -20. There's only a number of things like in the Red Sin or GT Goku, etc., where minus is 20, and a 4 cost is an interesting cost as well. Usually it's that weird energy cost, so I will give it to that. We have Piccolo, which looks up the top 5 for Earthling or Namekian, that is yellow, or a yellow specified cost 2 unison, which is Pan, or really the other unisons you want or you could use, but you really want the Pan. What the cool thing is for Piccolo is that it procs off the discard and draw. So you draw 1 if your leader card is Piccolo, you switch it to Rex mode, and you discard 1 afterwards. So you can get this guy out turn 2 without using her effect if you want to use something else, or you can just discard like the 30k Gohan or something else that you want into the drop, and then play it from the drop. Oh, and speaking of the drop, this Pan does proc off the front or the backside leader, the awakened leader, where you're playing it from your drop. So you get to play unison on their turn and then draw from it. So it's just kind of like a 1 energy draw, and as well as get a unison. It just sucks that it only has 1 marker, but I guess that's just for balance. Anyways, also have Parental Love Gohan, which is pretty much one of the worst cards in the deck. Even though I can see why you would play it, you kind of need these guys because these guys have barriers, so you can evolve on top of them, and as well as you can switch this guy to rest mode or swing with it, and now you have the unison protected for 1 attack at least. And then the same thing for Pan, where she has barrier, and then by turn 4 the 30k now has barrier and double strike. So these guys are cantrips where you can draw 1. This one also gets the Pan from your deck into your hand if you want to play it that way. And then activate main, you get to play this guy in rest mode if you have a Sun Gohan Z battle card. So basically you're able to get this girl out for the turn 4 play for barrier and double strike. So it's nice. I do like these cards. I just don't like the engine so much. And then we also have the 2 costs from Namekian Pride. You're never playing 2 for this guy. A lot of counter plays out there. I will say that much, but at least it has barrier, and when it's in rest mode they can't attack your leader. Your battle cards can't take a leader, and then if it does get placed into the drop, you get to discard 1 card from your hand, and then you get to play it with the skills and get it a turn. So it doesn't have barrier anymore or unique, but you get to draw off of it if it is your awakened leader. So it is cool as a nice little 15k deadly defender against their battle cards, but probably not worth playing. Again, I was saying before that the card pool for yellow is limited. Figure that. Right? For Z battle cards, I think red and blue are immensely better. Green has some a couple good ones, and the leaders are pretty much the focus for yellow right now. But these 2 guys are interesting. If you haven't got against this guy, he is one of the most annoying Z battle cards you can go against. He's just really good with Deflect, 25k and barrier, and then you get to choose one of their leader, unison, and battle cards in rest mode, and they can't attack with it in the next turn, so you just gotta shut that down. And then when your opponent places a card, you can place a Z energy in their op. If you do, choose up to one of your opponent's battle cards, unisons, or rest mode, and negate the skills for the turn. So this is pretty good card for 3, just as a cool attacker. Plus you can evolve on top of it if you want to do some shenanigans for that, but it's just very annoying. It's not like busted, but it's very annoying. Oolong is cool because it's a one cost. You can just play it for the backside or the awakened side leader effect. If you have Z energy to spare, the 2, you can just use it and then just swing by copying something, the power of something on the field. So you can copy your 30k Gohan and then just swing with it for a one cost 30k. So it's pretty cool. Here's my list. I think I have been, it's been so hard not to have one-ofs of everything because I kind of want to see things and I kind of don't want to, but the whole engine here is either going to be 3 or 4. It just depends on who you're talking to and what kind of playstyle they are. And Final Flash has been something that I'm like, okay, do you even want to play Final Flash nowadays? But you kind of need it for Mega Frieza and you kind of need it for some big boy battle card attackers, really. And 2 of the Vegetas, even though I think you can play 3 or 4, it's just no room in this deck, honestly. And I think you do end up milling yourself out if you keep using the engine. But it is a struggle to, again, find the most energy efficient type of things for the deck. Because turn 1, you're going to be playing probably the 1-drops here, or the Piccolo. Turn 2, you kind of want to play the Unison into the blocker here, and then turn 3 you want to awaken with the Z battle card, and then from there you kind of play the yellow good stuff, ditching the Bardox and drawing, playing the Gohan on a 4 marker pan on turn 3 or 4, or playing the pan from there into the 30k Gohan. So it just kind of varies where you want to, and the Mira has been the overwhelming choice nowadays, even though you kind of want things into your drop anyway, so you're gonna have to be careful with that one. Either way, let me know what you think about the list, let me know what you think about the engine and deck, and let me know what you think should be the next deck after Red Sin in the community tab for the polls, or even in the comments. But until then, I will see you into the next one.